Hello and welcome to Video Jug. We're going to show you how to bake rye bread. This is a highly nutritious and heavy textured bread. It's versatile, it's healthy, and it's high in fibre. Plus, it doesn't contain wheat, so can be enjoyed by those with wheat intolerance. Step 1. You will need the following ingredients. To make 1 loaf of rye bread. To make the pre-ferment, 130 grams of all-purpose flour. 130 grams of rye flour, half a teaspoon of instant yeast, and 280 milliliters of water. And to make the dough, 255 grams of all-purpose flour, 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of yeast, 1 tablespoon of caraway or any other seed, 1 teaspoon of coffee, cocoa or caramel to give the bread its distinctive colour, 60 grams of buttermilk or yoghurt, and some flour for dusting. Here is a list of the ingredients. You will also need the following utensils: 3 medium-sized bowls, 1 loaf pan, a brush, a tea towel, a plastic bag, a spray bottle, a wooden spoon, and an electric mixer with the hook attachment. Step 2. Make the pre-ferment. Mix the all-purpose flour and the rye flour in a bowl. Add the instant yeast and water and stir slowly into a smooth mixture. Cover it with a clean tea towel and set it aside at room temperature to prove, or rise, for roughly 3 hours. It will bubble as the yeast ferments and then double in volume. Do not leave it for longer than this, or the pre-ferment may collapse in on itself. Alternatively, you can cover it with a plastic bag and leave it in the fridge overnight. Step 3. Make the dough. To make the dough, put the all-purpose flour into the mixer bowl. Then add the brown sugar, salt, yeast, caraway seeds, and the caramel. Then add the yoghurt, and finally all of the combined pre-ferment mixture. Switch on the machine and knead the dough for 10 minutes. Until it becomes fully incorporated into a smooth, elastic ball of dough. If the dough is wet, you can add a pinch of flour to the mixer. This will soak up excess moisture without ruining the dough. Top tip: you may want to add other goodies to the mixture. Why not try olives or walnuts? But remember that if the goodies you add are at all moist, use a little less water in the pre-ferment. Step 4. Allow the dough to double. Once kneaded, cover it entirely with a clean plastic bag and set it aside at room temperature for roughly 2 hours to expand to double its size. Step 5. Punch the dough. Once the dough has doubled, let some of the air in it escape. Do this by punching the dough with your knuckles. This process divides the air pockets and evens out the temperature and moisture. You may only have to punch it once or twice, as it will deflate very quickly. Step 6. Mould into a log shape. Shape the dough into a log shape. If shaping it has caused a seam, make sure that the seam is at the bottom of the dough. Then transfer it into your loaf pan. Cover it once more with the same plastic bag and set it aside at room temperature for 1.5 hours to prove again. From this stage, it's important that no more air is knocked out of the dough, so handle it gently. Step 7. Preheat the oven. Now, set the oven to 220 degrees centigrade or gas mark 7. It's important that the oven reaches this temperature before you put the loaf in, or it won't bake properly. Step 8. bake. Gently place your loaf pan into the centre of the oven. Spray or flick a little water onto the sides of the oven to create steam. This will enhance the texture of the crust. Then bake for 15 minutes before turning the oven down to 180 degrees centigrade or gas mark 4. And bake for a further 30 minutes. Step 9. Remove from the oven. Take the bread out of the oven. Turn the bread upside down. To check to see if the bread is thoroughly baked, tap the bottom of the loaf. If it has a hollow sound, it's done. If not, place it back into the oven for a few more minutes, as the bread is still too doughy. And release the bread onto a clean surface. Step 10. Serve. When it's done, leave the loaf to rest on a rack for at least 30 minutes before slicing. Then slice. This rye bread is excellent served with soup, pastrami, salt beef, pickles and mustard, or just used like regular bread in a sandwich.